What is up, my legends? All right, so I wanted to talk about the dev notes that they have right here. This should be relatively interesting as we take a look at this. And the very first thing you see is the first raid Queen's Nest, and I guess that name is tentative. After the Acolyte Nego's defeat, the ancient Azamanians began to rise from their slumber. All right, so what I want to know, this is taking long. What I want to know is players can obtain specials by defeating the raid labyrinth bosses. Raid labyrinths reset every Monday, and defeated bosses will not reappear until then. Planning effective routes throughout each area and experimenting with different team formations for each boss will be essential to finding success. Players may also strategize by basing the order in which they choose to challenge each boss on loot that each boss drops. Other elements, such as hidden bosses events, are being considered for additional features in the labyrinth. Players can receive special tokens from defeating monsters within the Queen's Nest, which can be exchanged for a variety of equipment and other prizes. The merchant near the entrance. That is pretty lit. I like that. Look at that! Look at that boss right there. They drew right there. That's pretty lit. All right, I gotta speed up on my team. That's more than enough for me. Alright, new guild PvE mode tentative. In PvP, we're planning to introduce a new guild PvE mode as Epic7's first co-op content. I feel they should make this universal and not just guild. That's just me. The guild captain can use guild resources to start the mode. All heroes taking part will be locked within the dungeon and will not be playable in any other game modes until the wow. Wow. So players should prepare themselves to have lots of different heroes battle ready. Oh god. This mode will consist of a variety of different objectives and paths that can be taken, so guild members must split up and explore different areas, eventually taking on the final boss. Players will be able to experience tense but exciting atmosphere by challenging different areas according to their guild's capacities. Playing with their fellow guild members and reaping the rewards of each dungeon. Guild PvP will offer competitive but stress-free content players can enjoy. Even if you are guild losers, you still receive a fair reward. However, rewards won't be given to players who participate in the PvP. We're looking for work on a reward system that compensates players not only for their results, but also for their participation. We are in the planning stage to develop a full-scale competition mode for guilds. We hope to introduce this at some point in 2019. Cool. Regarding guild PvP, we are planning on restricting the number of participants to 3. We hope to provide a faster paced strategy. Oh, well, damn. Only 3? Ooh. I think I would go with Cecilia Says and Destina for that. But, you know, it might actually be better the Blitz. So we might see like full 3 DPS like Rowena and Silk, and then maybe another nuke. That would be pretty interesting. New characters, especially changes. Hazel, the Church of it was Axe. Is that Axe God is getting changed? And Ruza next up to be specialty changes. So Axe God is getting a change. Wait, no, that can't be. Well, Hazel. That's interesting. Look at Hazel's change. That's interesting. Alright, reward system revamp. Currently, Stigma is earned too easily by purifying the Abyss, which has led to the lack of satisfaction. Gaining Stigma in other modes, we plan to significantly reduce the amount of Stigma. We don't need Stigma, we need gold. Abyss mode now offers more gold and increased daily gold income. Additionally, we plan on reducing the amount of gold needed to enhance items with charms to ensure player satisfaction when farming charms resolve the gold scarcity. Okay, so you know, but you still need to do more. We need that's not enough. That helps. Don't get me wrong, that helps, but it's not enough. We need more gold than that. We need more gold than that stuff. One piece costs like 100K. That is not going to overturn that, so we need more. We are looking into reducing the amount of ancient coins awarded in dispatch. Why? Missions are tripling the amount awarded in labyrinths. Oh, when you level it, it would. But players notice that players feel stressed out when labyrinth run doesn't go well, so we're looking to the system to help compensate the potential losses. Finally, we hope to add more content to provide even more gold, as well as double drop rates on 2-star dungeons. Interesting. Character balance and adjustments. The majority of heroes' moments have been fairly stronger in this area. They are developed. We put a lot of effort to ensure that 3-star heroes are not considered useless, but can be utilized for the purpose of the game. However, we notice the 3-star heroes are too widely used. Players have been vocal about this issue, and we are approaching it with abundance of caution. We hope to share the direction or reasoning. We will not be nerfing heroes simply because they are strong within a certain team or certain situations. Heroes will only be considered for balancing when they are much stronger than other heroes in different scenarios, or when the enemy has a hard time countering that hero. Now, see, this goes back to what I was mentioning about certain things and certain characters are being exploited a little bit too much because the game can't handle it. And that's literally the wording that he just said, and people got all pissed off because I said that. It's like, it's not your fault that you're doing it, but they're aware that it's not being used properly, so they're changing it. That's why these heroes are being changed. But I don't feel that you should change the 3-stars. I feel you should fix the 4 and 5 stars to make them better than the 3-stars in those situations. You don't have to nerf these characters, buff the other characters so they actually work better in those situations, and that'll be fine. Then people can keep the 3-stars, but then they'll have to go after 4 and 5 stars because they'll be properly better. When we do decide to adjust the balance of heroes, we will provide a detailed explanation on the reasoning in advance, and we will maintain each hero's strength while also hope to provide some compensation for users who invested a lot of resources in making that hero stronger. For example, one possible solution that we have in mind is refund the materials to upgrade the hero's skills given the time. That's cool too if they want to do that. That's perfectly fine. Battle balancing. We are preparing for buffs a number of characters. Characters we have confirmed to be buff or currently experimenting with is Rose, Dingo, Cully, Euphine, and Gilda Aether. Goma. Can you not do anything with Aether? Or at least make him more manly? That'll be a buff alone right there. Give him a different specialty, and then he grow up and stop being a trap. That'll be the best possible thing you can do. Euphine, I'm a little bit scared for Euphine because Euphine, when given proper gear, she breaks the game. So you gonna buff her? Okay. Her problem is that early game she is not good, if not bad early game. But once you get her proper gear, she just, I don't know. I don't know how they're gonna buff her and then nerf her right after that. But whatever. We also noticed that defense buffs are far too powerful in the current meta, which rip Elson to the point that it makes the game monotonous. So we plan on nerfing defense buffs, and in the case of characters who rely on defense buffs become too weak, we're planning to slightly buff them as well. Maya, Elson, Crowd, Doris, and Phyllis. Yeah, figured. But see, it says slightly buff Elson. How are you gonna buff Elson when he's already broke in the meta? So what you gonna do? Nerf then buff him? Yeah. We understand that balance will definitely affect players in a negative way, while nerfing defense buffs is something that has not been set in stone. We predict that the current situation is harmful to the game in the long term, something that I also said that people got mad at, that, you know, it's okay if you understanding that whatever. And let me point out that the reason why this particular thing is happening right now. People say that in Korea that Koreans were actually doing this, so why is it so much of a problem in global? The fact is that Koreans were not doing it that much. There were people, sure, you had videos that, you know, people were doing stuff like that in the third, but Koreans actually spread it out. It wasn't like a gang pile of people all doing like the Holy Trinity, as was whatever you call it. There wasn't a whole bunch of people doing that. There was some people doing that, but not a lot, or to the level of the way that global was doing it, where you have literally a whole like block of people, like thousands and thousands of people doing the same thing, that it became so magnified that the team actually said, you know what, we need to fix it. That's what happened in global. Koreans, don't blame that on Koreans and say, well, they were doing it first, because they were not mass dogpiling it the way global was doing it. That's why this is getting nerfed. We understand that the balancing changes on certain heroes can definitely affect players in a negative way. Oh, I read that already. Drop rate increases guaranteed summon system. We are planning to implement a system to compensate players who spent a lot of bookmarks but were unsuccessful in gaining a high grade character, which I agree with. We currently are reviewing the system that guarantees a certain number of characters is not obtained after a certain number of summons during the summon rate increases the event. All changes and adjustments made summon. Okay, so let me say something about this. You should not guarantee a character. What you should do is after every 10 summon, put a counter. And after every 10 summon or whatever else like that, that counter goes up by 5 or 10%. And once it gets to a certain point, then you literally have 70, 80, 90%, 100% chance to get a character at that certain amount of point. I feel that would make things a lot better, and people won't automatically think that I just need to spend this amount of money and I'll get a character, because that borders on pay to win. Even putting it at 100% is pay to win, because then you'll know, okay, you know what? I need this amount of, I need $200 and I'm going to definitely get this character. That's literally saying that a character costs $200. And that's the problem when you actually do a guaranteed summon system. You can't make it guaranteed like that, because you basically say character for hire right there. You can't do that. You have to make a system where the percent rises, and then people start to notice that, hey, my percent rise. I got this character after 10 pulls. I got this character after 20, 30 pulls. Like, it should never go to 100 pulls and then somebody doesn't get a character. That's a bit of a problem. And you don't have to make it a guaranteed point. You just have to make it so the system puts the rates up. Like, say the rate starts at 5%. Once you do 10 pulls, it goes to 10. Once you do another 10 pulls, it goes to 15. Once you do another 10 pulls, it goes to 20. Until eventually you get that jackpot. You got a 20% chance out of 10 to actually get that character. This means you probably won't necessarily get to 50 tries to 100 tries. And this won't affect the money that's being spent in the game. People are going to spend the same amount of money anyway. What happens is they just won't spend it in summons anymore. You now will have money to spend in other places. You spend on the leaf packs. You spend maybe on gold, because gold is ass right now. That's where the money will go. So a company doesn't necessarily have to think that, oh, we're going to lose money because they can't summon all hardcore. It's just people will just rotate to something else. And then you can start putting costumes in the game. People go, man, people buy costumes. Now I'm talking to the devs right now. People will buy skins. People will buy costumes. It will just rotate to that. Don't put stats on the costumes. Please, God, don't do that. Don't do that. But you can get costumes out here and people will buy that. You can even make the character get different moves in the costumes. Like, it don't need to be badass or different stuff like that. It doesn't need to be super broke ass moves and stuff like that, but just even change the animations on stuff like that. People will buy that. That's all you really got to do if you're really worried about where the summon money is going to go. All right, so the 8 is the in-game chat system, which chat is finally on the way. We believe that the reason why players don't think highly of the chat system is because they can't hide the general chat. Epic7's chat system built primarily with the idea of supporting guild communities, but players will have the access to the basic features of communicating at their convenience. Okay, that's fine. We also plan a number of UI improvements, such as the abyss purification. I think they just did that in the recent patch, didn't they? A supporting character that can open up a chest automatically during your adventures will be added. Okay. Wait. Well, that means that when we auto, they'll automatically open the stuff so we don't miss things, because that would be kind of cool. We hope that the aforementioned information will be implemented sometime between the next update and December. Please bear in mind that the proposed content will require a lot of internal tests and may result until after December. Through transparent communication with the player, we make sure that all of this was hotness. But again, the thing that I want to point out is that the gold is the major problem for everybody right now. Character balance is okay, fine. Y'all gonna do what you're gonna do anyway with character balance. Like I said, I don't feel the 3 stars should be nerfed. I feel the 4 and 5 stars should be buffed. And then if you have a problem with how the AI is being handled, do something to make the AI stronger. That's it. That's it. Now I know that's not that easy for me to just be saying that's it. It's going to take testing to make sure that that's actually working out the way that's intended. But you can save yourself a lot of problems by not nerfing the 3 stars. And I don't feel that they should be nerfed. They're working properly. It's just that the 4 and the 5 stars are falling behind because they're not working properly. So it's that's an easy fix, and I believe that they're gonna fix it, and they probably won't nerf the 3 stars, so everybody can calm down. I don't even think the 3 stars are gonna be nerfed like that. They just need to fix the 4s and the 5s. So I'll catch you guys next video. Be legendary. I hope they listen to me and don't nerf the 3 stars. Just make the 4s and 5s better and make them actually work. And considering that we have a system that we're going to be able to get 4s and 5s in motion right now that's going to be coming, then it shouldn't even be a problem. People will be able to get 4 or 5 stars. So next video, be legendary. Peace.
As the leaves start falling down and the shadows above the town, I can finally see you now. I see the fear inside your eyes.